Welcome to Module 4, Part 1. We began the sustainability journey with the first module, which was the key concepts and terms of sustainability. Then we moved to the first step of what is the vision. Then we covered the next step of where are we now in the sustainability journey. In this module, we're going to cover the next step, which is where do we want to be. In Part 1, we're going to look at the inputs and outcomes of these steps and also understand the evolution of sustainability planning. We're going to understand a lot about planning for sustainability. Here we will learn the following: the 3 dimensions of strategic planning, including sustainability business models, sustainable products and services, organizational ecosystem, and describe the concept of externalities, and explain the recommendations for sustainability, ROI, VOI, return on investment and value of investment. But recollect that we are doing our sustainability journey using the continual improvement model of ITIL. In this step, we have the following questions to be answered. What are our desired outcomes for the current and planned sustainability initiatives? How do we address the problems identified in the previous stage? How will our objectives be agreed upon and communicated? And how do we measure improvements for the agreed objectives? Which means that after agreeing the vision for the sustainability journey and assessing the current state, the organization should define where do we want to be, meaning the desired outcomes of the current and planned sustainability initiatives, how to address the issues identified in the previous step of where are we now, how to agree and communicate those objectives to the stakeholders, and how to ensure the measurement improvement for agreed objectives. Sustainability, therefore, is not a single initiative, but is an ongoing one where the sustainability objectives can also evolve. So this is an iteration step with smart objectives. Some objectives can be very short term and some could be long term. Therefore, progress iteratively with feedback principle of ITIL should be applied. The inputs to this step will be from the previous steps, such as the organization's vision and purpose, the current state of the organization's ecosystem, the identified stakeholders and their interests, the applicable sustainability regulations and standards, and the current state of the organization. The second point about the current state of the organization's ecosystem means it's about understanding the organization's resources, the maturity levels, the products and services. The outcomes of this step should be agreed as following. Outcomes and objectives for the sustainability initiative should be made clear. Key stakeholders of ongoing and new sustainability initiatives should be understood, or it should be clear as to who the key stakeholders are. The KPIs to measure how the objectives are being executed should also be agreed upon. And as a result of this step, there should be an updated sustainability knowledge base, including the applicable sustainability regulations and standards, as well as the organization's view on them. The levels of the organization, therefore, need to be involved in defining these objectives of sustainability and the outcomes of sustainability, which will include the governing body, the management, senior and other level of management, and the various teams in the organization. The knowledge base should also include the priorities on the various standards and regulations to be applied. And as mentioned just a while ago, the objectives should be SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Going to the topic of the evolution of sustainability planning. And we'll also understand what sustainability planning is. Strategic planning for sustainability. The evolution of strategic planning for sustainability involves 3 key dimensions: products and services, business models, and the organization ecosystem. Sustainability planning has in fact evolved from the environmental focus, which is basically about environmental standards and regulations to be met, and to develop environmental friendly products and services. This was in the early 2000s, but now it is more about the social and the long-term impacts. There are 4 steps in the evolution of sustainability planning. It began with just compliance and optimizing of internal processes. Then it matured towards sustainably sourced products and services, and further moved towards sustainable business models. And now we are at science-based planning of outcomes for the global environment and wider society. Therefore, an organization might be at a very basic level to be compliant, and then they have to move further towards a better sustainability planning. So the first 2 evolutions, the compliance and local optimization and responsibly sourced products and services, these are important, no doubt, but they ignore the feedback from other stakeholders in the ecosystem. Therefore, it is essential to evolve towards the 3rd and 4th ways of planning, which are the sustainable business models and the science-based, which is about the sustainable ecosystem. And this is for the mid to long-term sustainability planning.